Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. We're going to start out with the usual customization here. If you remember from the last part, we did unlock the mariachi uniform, which doesn't really have any benefits other than, I guess, making you giggle every time you look at it. So, you know, if you want to have a little bit of a sillier experience, you can get this, but, you know, it's 20,000 BP. I'd rather save that for something a little bit more practical. And we can, of course, do the standard suite of upgrades here. We can upgrade our sword. And then we can also upgrade our polearm. Didn't unlock another secondary custom weapon here, so we can just upgrade its strength. Then we can also buy our next life upgrade and our next fuel cell upgrade. So you'll see by the end of this, we do have actually quite a few BP remaining. I mean, 57,000, you know, it's nothing to scoff at. So if we want, we can take a look at some of these skills. You can see some of them cost maybe like 10,000 BP for, you know, just kind of a fancier attack. I'm not really sure that it's worth it. Like I said before, I never really use any of these skills. I have used the Thunder Strike before just because it looks really awesome in that picture. It's a little bit underwhelming in the actual game, but I think I'm basically just going to leave most of these unbought, at least for the time being. I may come back and play around with them later, but I'd kind of rather save the BP because things are actually going to start getting expensive pretty quickly. You know, it's not going to be too long before we're actually going to start kind of stretching our BP a little bit thin in places, so I'll just leave it like that, and then we'll get going with the next file.
Baffled by the statement, police are still investigating a motive. President Hamilton is on his way to the Middle East this morning for his scheduled visit with Pakistani President Farouk Salam. The meeting is viewed as an attempt by the U.S. to strengthen relations amidst a surge of anti-American sentiment in the region.
Yo, me ninja brother!
George, good to see you up and about. How you feeling?
Never better, nah? No pain, no more starve while them hunger space eat, and me never ever feel so awake, nah?
That's because your blood sugar levels are being maintained automatically. Beats the hell out of coffee.
Oh! Me been here you go while I got them scone in the base. Why the rasta you not take me with ya, huh?
Damn it, Doc. Sorry, kid. You'd just be in the way.
Aw.
Besides, I thought you didn't want to be a killer, right?
Me don't, but...
Killing isn't fun and games. Remember that.
Right.
That's all I needed to hear.
No!
It yearns to bathe in the blood of your enemies, but you hold it back.
Yeah, just remember that.
Raiden, what is this, Kernia? You cannot resign.
Sorry, Boris, it's done. Can't have a Maverick employee involved in a corporate raiding now, can we?
You could at least come talk to me.
No. It was time to break away from the old team, Boris. Past time.
You cannot take on Marshal all by yourself.
I won't sit by while they butcher little kids and ship their parts around like meat. It's sick.
It's not all so simple, Raiden. They import those brains legally, for medical purposes. It's all done.
Being legal doesn't make it right.
Raiden,
Hold that thought.
Fuck you, asshole!
I will patrol ahead.
Military Cyborg, you are not licensed to operate in this area. You're in violation of state and federal law.
Guess you'd better arrest me then.
183-104.7, threatening a peace officer. Deadly force is authorized.
Okay, so right out of the gate here, before we get into anything else, one of these very first guys that charges you is actually a person who has one of those data chips in his left hand. It's actually this guy right there, as you can already see. So the easiest way to do it is probably just to parry him, and then you get a very clean shot if you just go straight into blade mode, and that'll let you get it. You're probably not checking for left hands your very first time through. You know, you wouldn't think they'd throw one in there, but they do. They get a little tricky with them sometimes. Okay, so it looks like Raiden has decided to break away from the rest of the team back over at Maverick and stage basically a one-man raid on World Marshal HQ. Don't know how far he's expecting to get, but then again, he is Raiden. You've seen the stuff he can do. You know, I mean, he did suplex Metal Gear Ray, for instance. So we'll have to see how far we can get. So you can see we've kind of taken care of the first wave of enemies. There's also a rocket guy over there, which he slid toward the wrong person. Definitely want to take them out as soon as you can. Rocket guys are a giant pain in this game, actually. They have, like, super good aim, so definitely doing that. Also, probably want to take out this other guy with a gun. Not that it matters too much. I mean, he can't deal too much damage, and we've already gotten hit, so. Okay, so now it's just down to the heavy cyborg. These guys are going to start showing up in greater numbers. Kind of got into a bad state with this guy because he's going to keep attacking. I'm going to try to get in kind of that counter war I talked about earlier. There we go, like this. There we are. And if you just keep it up enough, you know, countering each other's blows, eventually you'll get through and be able to finish him off immediately. So if you're good with the counterattacks, that can be a decent way to take care of it. And you can see we're still on alert here. Once we head to the next section, we're going to get ambushed again. So we're basically killing policemen here, which is probably not going to go over well, you know, in the court of public opinion and all that, where, you know, that's probably not a good thing. So let's go ahead and keep working on it here. You'll kind of see why the police are so aggressive with us. I mean, other than, you know, kind of, I guess, tearing up the city a bit. You'll get a little better sense in a little bit. Okay, so I believe there's only that heavy cyborg left over here. Oh, didn't even know he was attacking. Okay, and that should finish him off. There's probably a B, if I had to guess. Yeah. And ratings are going to start going down a little bit here in this chapter.
The road is blocked by barricades. We will proceed through the buildings. You will follow me.
Alright, so Wolf's told us he's going to kind of scout ahead. And you can kind of see him. Oh, there he goes. Climbing through the building there. However, before we follow him, we're going to turn back because, of course, there's something interesting back here. One, there's a rocket launcher you can pick up if you want. That's not really what we came back for. It's actually this over here. You can definitely tell this is a Metal Gear game. If you haven't figured it out by this point, this should be your sign. So we've got this poster of this chick here that for some reason I guess the police have taped over? Not sure. Let's get these out of the way.
Yes,
And there you go. Get a slightly better view. So yeah, these kinds of posters have been, you know, it's kind of running gags in the Metal Gear series up to this point in basically every game. So this one is, of course, no exception. Okay, so now that we've got our fill of scantily clad women, I suppose, let's go ahead and head forward. Now we're going to be ambushed again, this time actually by 2 Grods. This is the first time we have to fight more than one at the same time. However, it wouldn't be if you were on the harder difficulties, like very hard or Revengeance. The first boss fight would actually put you against 2 there. So when you're fighting multiple, it's a good idea to, of course, just focus on one. You also want to try to keep one of them between you and the other one, so that way it can't like hit you with machine gun fire or with you know, artillery shots or anything like that. So you can just focus on taking this one out, and not even have to worry about the one in the background. And these also go a little bit quicker than the boss fight did before. These are, I guess, you know, kind of mass-produced, so I would assume they're a bit weaker than the original one was. Right, so this one should be pretty close. Yeah, there it goes. Now, we can finish this off just like before. However, the difference is that this time we can actually get a Zendatsu on the second part. So you want to make sure to take advantage of that. Okay, now that we've got one down, we can move on to the other one. Avoid all his long-range shots here. Alright, here's his foot attack. I think I mentioned this one the first time we fought them, but you have to parry that multiple times, so be ready for it. Then apart from that, it's basically just keep hacking away here until it goes down. That was actually kind of close. I thought I did actually get hit by something there. I'm at 137. We should actually still probably get away with an S rank, assuming I don't mess up this Zendatsu, because we got a very large combo. It was pretty quick, and Zendatsu'd both of them, so basically it's just down to time. Yep, there we go. So it's always nice to get kind of like a pure S rank like that, you know, without having to do the no damage bonus.
HQ, requesting the zone be designated for heightened security. Roger, upgrading security status.
Okay, so once we clear those out, these guys are going to come up and start patrolling. I guess, you know, the two, like, giant UGs couldn't take it out, but these four guys, they can probably handle it. So one of these guys actually has a chip in his left arm, so we're going to be definitely looking out for that. We want to take out this one kind of in the back first. And the guy that was paired with him is actually the one we need to snag his left hand. And those other two guys, I'm basically just going to ignore. They don't really matter too much. We also want to head back around this barrier.
Your route through Denver has been plotted based on data culled from various security systems. I took the liberty of adding a guidance device to your chassis to ensure you do not stray too far. Handy, eh?
And we get a little lecture from Doc as well as our next VR mission. So, like I said, those other two guys, we'll let them live. We don't really need them for anything. Our goal is to come up here. There's a couple different ways you can get up. One is obviously the way I did. The other is you can actually hit a button down there to kind of make your way up this stairwell. But before you actually head into the next section, we want to jump up on this glass tube, because it turns out there's our next data storage up there.
Raiden, what's your status?
They trashed my car. I'll have to go the rest of the way on foot.
Do you really have to do this?
Look, I'm fed up with all of it. Companies like ours, yours, bend the laws when it suits business. Why not bend it when it can save innocent lives?
Raiden.
Boris, listen to me. That VR training, they'll be warped into killing machines. They'll be set on POWs, civilians. It'll be one atrocity after another.
Like what you went through.
We can't have any more Jack the Rippers. You saw what happened with George. I'm doing this, Boris. I have to. I can't save those kids from becoming cyborgs, but I can stop them from becoming murderers.
Say you succeed. Say you get all the brains back. Then what?
Just so happens I know un great cybernetic surgeon.
Doctor, but he cannot...
You won't change my mind, Boris. This is my fight now.
And your wife and son? What of them?
They're in New Zealand. Safe. Rose would understand why I have to do this.
All right, damn you. You do realize Marshall has the contract for law enforcement throughout the city. They are the law in Denver.
Yeah, we've met.
Well then. Officially, Maverick Incorporated condemns you and your actions as unlawful. And a pain in the asshole. Now, increase your codec encryption. Do not worry about the lag.
And unofficially?
I'll do all I can over the codec to help. I do not like what those Mudaki are doing any more than you.
Spasiba, Tavarish. Spasiba.
And of course, we learn that World Marshal is in control of the entire police department here. It's been kind of subcontracted out to them, so that kind of explains why they're, you know, basically going all out a little bit here. Also, I hope you like my redecorating job. We had to get the feng shui in this place, you know, a little bit more in order. You know, Raiden is super in tune with these things. Also got this little cutout of a chick over here, which we can of course slice.
Yes, Tovarich.
And get a much more interesting one instead. Okay, so now we can continue on. Our next VR mission is actually very close. They group these two like really close together. And we can just run around behind that glass pane. You can also cut through the glass, but it can kind of take longer because it's a little bit stubborn. Like it doesn't quite want to fall. So you have to like really cut your way through. And you know, in this time you could have just run around, but there you go. Also a healing paste over here. And then we can move on to the next section. Gotta press more buttons. A lot of that in this game, I noticed. And of course, as we walk in here, we're gonna get ambushed. This is a fight against a couple geckos, which, like I'd mentioned before, can be a little bit hairy sometimes. Also, I had to really avoid those. You can see I've equipped the polearm. We've actually got some tripods that are gonna be joining us in this fight. Wow, I can't believe I actually got out of that without getting hit. So it's a good idea to kind of just use these polearm combos. Also with this attack, if you get hit, you can actually just shake it off, and you don't take any damage from it. I know I'm at 139.6, but I think I got pegged by one of the tripod shots, actually. It wasn't from that, I promise. That one, though, was definitely from the gecko. Alright, I can't see what the other one's doing, which is making me nervous, so let's reposition here. I really just want to finish one off. There we go. That's some good hits, huh? Alright, we could... There we go. So to say, we could have Zendatsu'd as soon as it turned blue, but this will give us a much better opportunity. So now that we've taken one out, this battle is basically routine. Got a really interesting camera going on there. I'll also shake this guy off. You can see that also actually hit one of the tripods. That actually was very useful in the demo because I think they actually didn't have their charging attack at that point. I think that was something that was added in the future release. But, oh man, I thought I dodged that actually. But yeah, you could actually use that attack to like knock down everything else within range. It was really helpful. Oh man, I actually could have finished him off there, but since I got like one more shot in, it kind of changed what he was doing. All right. Oh man. I don't know what that is like attached to. See, the square is just on the floor there. Okay, well, didn't quite get the Zendatsu, which means the rating for this battle is going to be awful. Now, I thought I might be able to salvage at least an A, but with that, you know, I missed 50% of the Zendatsu, so it's probably going to be a B. Yep, figured as much. You can see if I would have just gotten that, I would have got 500 more points, and that would have been an A.
Elevator inside that office. Use it to reach the roof. Traveling atop buildings will minimize enemy encounters.
Alright, of course need to travel through the roof. There's usually a cardboard box over here I can pick up. I might have actually picked it up inadvertently. Yeah, I did, because see, now I've got 2 of 5. You can keep extras, which is not really that useful, because, you know, you can't really lose a box unless you get hit while you're in it, and if that happens, then you probably deserve it, to be honest. There's also another interesting item we can pick up over here, on top of this rather nifty little filing cabinet. It's a 3D photo frame. And this is probably my favorite of the sub-weapons, so we'll definitely need to demonstrate that later on. We could have actually picked one up while we were in, I think, file R01, but I must have just missed it or something. Also, pretty obvious box here.
No, there's a rumor the MIBs come from Area 51.
Not so sure about that, but of course there's our man in a box for this chapter. As we go through here, we're going to get the attention of one of these rocket guys, and I think the first one here, actually, yeah, as you can see, it's got a left arm we want to collect.
Haha, more classified data. I believe I have all I need for a little surprise.
So they're starting to put those left arms in pretty tricky locations, actually. I'm not sure who all I got. Okay, just the guy on the ground. So let's take this one out. It looks like this might be a candidate for no damage. Well, okay, messed that one up. All right, so let's go ahead and break his shield. Oh, break both of them, actually. Let's get some good hits in. What do you say? So yeah, that's where the pole arm is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and de-equip it, though. Alright, and there's just one more guy he's probably going to attack. So we can finish him off that way. Yep, and no damage. Did pretty good otherwise, too, actually. That's a decent amount of battle points there. Alright, so now we get to take the elevator up. Seems like the obvious thing, like you think they would turn this off, but nope, guess not. We can just take it all the way up.
Doc, what's your status?
I am reviewing the pre-flight checklist now. I have hired contractors to handle shipping the brain units. We should be airborne in just a few minutes.
You sure you can pilot that chopper by yourself?
Raiden, of course. Need I remind you that we live in the golden age of unmanned flight? Even manned helicopters possess a robust semi-automatic mode. It is simple, really. So simple that I can continue to monitor your status and World Marshal security from the pilot seat. I must say, for the world's largest PMC, their security procedures are quite poor. Quite poor. Sadly, I did not have the necessary permissions to override their plans. Nevertheless, the data I did find should prove most useful. So please, do feel free to contact me whenever you like.
Appreciate it, Doc.
Well, it's not every day one has the chance to collect so many brains. Think of the data, the research. Oh, and of course, your personal safety was a concern as well.
And now we are on the rooftop. It's always a good chance when you're on a high place like this in a game to take a look, you know, at the skyline, all the buildings that are raising up, and we've definitely come pretty far from, you know, the old days. Like I'm thinking Ocarina of Time, for example, where everything in the background is just like a little flat two-dimensional object. A lot of detail here, which I really like, including some waving flags on that building there in the distance, so you know, it's always cool to see stuff like that. We've also got a new item over here. This is the drum, I believe, yeah, drum can. It's basically the same as the cardboard box. I guess this is just kind of a reference to Metal Gear Solid 4, but you can hide in it. I don't think there's any way to like roll around or anything. At least I've, you know, tried. Oh man, you totally can. Wait a minute. This is a brand new discovery for me. If you hold R1, you can actually roll around in it. Wow, that is really cool. I never knew that. Don't want to go off the roof though. Man, I actually did not know that. I was literally just trying out buttons here. So, well, there you go. You find something new every day, I suppose. Alright, so we need to be heading out here. And, yeah, they requested support. They're going to be sending quite a lot of soldiers to this roof. I'm basically just going to wait for them all to situate. And there's one that's going to kind of fly around a bit. It turns out that guy actually has, again, a left arm chip, so some really tricky places on these. That guy never actually comes down from his slider. So we're going to pretty much just have to take him out separately, and there's really no way to stealth kill an enemy that's on a slider like that. Alright, so I want to take out this guy, which we can do from a height. We're going to have to like jump off first, though. And hopefully that guy over there on the ledge doesn't see me. I probably should have put on the cardboard box before this. Okay, well, we made it, so that's fine. In fact, I am going to go ahead and equip that, though. Like, the rolling around in the drum can, like, now that I know you can do it, I'm trying to think of instances where it'd be useful. And honestly, there's not really a lot that's coming to mind. Let's see, hopefully I don't get seen by that guy. Yeah, he's kind of going off to the side, so it's really just these two guys we have to worry about. Alright, so there's the guy on the top. And then we can get this guy walking around down here. Okay, so there's still the matter of the guy flying around. We need his left hand. He's gonna kind of just come up here. He just sort of very slowly moves throughout this roof. I'm not entirely sure what's up with him. So there's really no way to take him out, like I said before, without getting an alert. So we'll just have to take out a slider. Then when it's just him, hopefully he's got a melee weapon he can pull out. Okay, if not, we can do the sliding kill. Like, if I'm in combat, I prefer to just do that counter and get him stunned, so you can get a nice clean shot of him just standing there. Otherwise, I kind of find the sliding to really be the next best thing. It's got an item box over here with a health recovery in it. And we want to climb up these pipes because on the other side, there's a VR mission.